Greetings, members of OLLI at SOU. It's a pleasure to be with you today. My name is Andy Boone. I'm the local representative for Collette, and really want to say a special thanks to Laura, Heather, and the travel team for bringing this amazing tour opportunity to the members of the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at Southern Oregon University. And again, Andy Boone, it's a pleasure to be here today to present to you. I've had several experiences myself with the Collette Company over the last 2 years. Each one has been excellent, and I'm super excited to talk with you about this particular trip, exploring South Africa, Botswana, and Victoria Falls. A few things about Collette to get started. I think it's important to give you an overview of the company. We provide a premium travel experience. It truly stands alone in the marketplace. Our product development is handled by people who are local and indigenous to the areas that you're visiting. So in this particular case, you're going to have a gentleman, Roger, who has curated the tours from scratch. And it's going to give you a very, very authentic experience, both in terms of on safari, but also some of the cultural components that you're going to experience on tour. We include a transportation package, which includes transportation from Ashland to and from Medford to the airport to start your tour and end your tour. And then you'll also have the transfers when you arrive in destination to your hotel and back, okay? We have concierge level service, meaning that you have a travel manager that is with you 100% of the time during your tour. They stay at the same accommodations, they'll dine with the group, and you'll also have local expert guides and park rangers that really enhance your overall experience while on tour. We have a robust portfolio of products, over 175 tours. Today, of course, we're going to talk specifically about the small group explorations to Africa. Our tour pacing has been perfected. We really want to make sure you maximize your time in destination and have a robust experience overall and a very culturally immersive experience, which you'll find on this tour. We offer an optional cancel for any reason travel protection insurance plan, which I'll talk about here in a minute, but it's standalone in the marketplace. And if you need the insurance, again, it's optional, but it's a great thing to consider. We're a debt-free company, very financially stable. So we don't owe a dime to any creditor. We're really very proud of that. During the pandemic, we actually refunded $185 million to travelers that were unable to travel, including their insurance premiums. So it's a family-owned business, and we always do right by our customers. We also offer 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week emergency services. So if you have an emergency that arises during your trip, you can call a number to reach Collette directly. When our team in the United States is asleep, our team in Australia is picking up the phone. So you'll always have personal support at the touch of a button or phone call. And then a little bit about the premium experience. So our tours are expertly curated by locals again. And do know that it's not just about the iconic sites. That's certainly important as far as your tour experience, but we also really pride ourselves on connecting you with the local people and the local culture, which is really, really important for you to have that immersive experience while on tour. We talked about the fact that we have 175 tours across all 7 continents. And today we're going to focus on, of course, Africa. Okay, so we have 5 distinct tour styles. Today, we're going to highlight the small group explorations. And here's a quick overview slide. This particular tour is limited to just 19 total travelers. And what's also unique and special about this tour opportunity is that we're doing it in partnership with, an alliance with, the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute program at Boise State University. So your leadership team at SOU thought it would be interesting to offer up a tour opportunity for members of both OLLI programs to go on the same tour. So I know that there are some folks already signed up at both Osher programs, and we're super excited about that. You'll be able to interact directly with other people that share the same interests and values and are also members of an OLLI program. So back to the small group exploration. So 19 total passengers. You're going to learn from local expert guides, your tour manager. Small group explorations tours are very boutique. So the dining arrangements, the accommodations that you'll stay at wouldn't even be able to accommodate a large group, especially when you're out in the middle of the wilderness in Africa, okay? And by nature of the smaller group, you're going to build more camaraderie with your tour manager, the local expert guides, and one another, okay? So it's really a fantastic way to experience a tour. Let's talk a little bit about the ease of guided touring. So it starts off again with free group transportation to and from Ashland. And I do want to point out that you don't necessarily have to be from the greater Ashland area, or in the case of Boise State, from the greater Boise market, provided that there is an affiliation or association with one of the OLLI members at Southern Oregon University. If there's somebody, a friend or a family member that would like to join you on tour, and they are flying out of a different air gateway someplace else across the United States or across the globe, the SOU travel team can work directly with Collette, and we can arrange to get a quote for a flight out of a different air gateway other than Medford so that people can meet you in destination. So keep that in mind. Again, as long as they have an affiliation, the traveler has an affiliation with the OLLI program, or I should say a member of the OLLI program, they don't themselves have to be a member. They just have to be associated with you as a registered member of the program. Okay, so check and baggage handling. We take care of that for you. Once you, pack your checked luggage, it'll arrive in destination. You'll take it from the carousel and roll it to the motor coach. And then from that point forward, your checked luggage will be handled for you by our team, the motor coach company, and the hotel or accommodation concierges, okay? We will offer a special and unique travel document review gathering via Zoom about 4 to 5 weeks before the trip departs. And the purpose of that meeting is to talk about all the details of the trip A through Z. So how to pack, where to access, safe drinking water, all the details, what currency to bring, what adapters you might need for electrical use. All those details will be covered about 4 to 5 weeks before departure, okay? Including how to pack. There's some specific luggage requirements for this trip because you'll be on some safari vehicles, etc., which we'll talk about during that meeting. The hotels are going to be centrally located to the wildlife, and they're beautiful, beautiful accommodations. You're going to enjoy them immensely. You'll see some photos here shortly. And then again, best-in-class tour managers and local expert guides / rangers. They have consummate knowledge about all things safety and certainly of wildlife as well. You're going to have some really great authentic culinary experiences. All the meals on this trip are provided for you while you're out in the wilderness, because you really don't have an option to forage for yourself. So you can look forward to some really fantastic meal experiences. And then tour pacing, again, very important that you have guided tour time balanced with free time, and that we call choice on tour, which is also complimentary. You get to determine how you'd like to spend a given portion of a day on tour in advance of that day, which is really nice. And then again, optional industry-leading cancel for any reason travel protection insurance, which I'll talk about here right now. This is an optional investment, one that I strongly encourage for a variety of reasons. First and foremost, with the insurance, if you opt to secure the insurance, it enables you as a traveler to cancel for any reason up until the day before the flight departs from Medford and get 100% of your overall investment money back, either crediting your credit card or paying you back by check, whichever form you paid Collette in the first place. That's how you'll be reimbursed or refunded fully, minus the cost of your insurance. In this case, the insurance waiver fee is $699 per person. It's based upon the tour. It's not based upon a person's age or wellness level. There's no application that you have to undergo to secure the insurance. You simply request the insurance at $699, and then you're covered. In addition to being able to cancel for any reason and get your full refund back, minus that $699, you're also covered for emergency assistance, medical expenses due to illness and injury while you're on the trip, travel delay support, trip interruption, if you have lost luggage or it's delayed or you have to be evacuated for some reason, that's covered. All the details about that specific insurance is accessible on the custom webpage, which we'll talk about later in the presentation. But I would invite you to look at the details of the insurance coverage and then make your decision based upon your comfort level with that. But it's an excellent policy option for you, and it's a great way to safeguard your investment, okay? All right, and then we have ways of personalizing your tour. It starts with upgrading your airfare. So the prices that you see reflected on the pricing screen, which will be later in the presentation, reflect economy seating on the aircraft. Should you want to upgrade your seats to premium economy or business class, you can certainly do that. You can make a request when you actually register for the trip. And Collette will go about working with the travel team at the OLLI program and make sure that you get a quote back for that upgraded airfare before you finalize your reservation. Okay. Dining experiences, again, few and far between because most of the meals are provided for you on this trip. For the reasons I stated earlier. There are some optional excursions that you can consider, but we really pride ourselves as a company of providing you as many inclusions as possible. So for the most part, you're going to receive all of the activities and experiences, most all of them, as part of the included investment portion of your tour. There is a pre-night option if you'd like to arrive a day before and have one extra night in Johannesburg before the tour begins. You're eligible and able to do that. Also, there's a pre-tour extension to Dubai. If you'd like to break up the lengthy flight and have a few nights in Dubai, that's possible. And there's some details that you can access online as well about the itinerary associated with the pre-tour extension for Dubai. Okay. All right. Let's move right along. Let's get into the details about the tour. I love this intense photo in the front there, exploring South Africa, Victoria Falls, and Botswana, again, with an optional 3 nights Dubai pre-tour extension. It's 15 days total, and that's the tour proper. That's not inclusive of Dubai. 15 days for the tour itself with 29 included meals, okay? And it's October 22nd through September 5th of 2026, okay? So we're planning almost a year out, right? Pretty darn close to a year out. All right. And so this is a very, very fantastic, multifaceted experience in 3 different countries. It's an incredible journey. You're going to experience cultural diversity, abundant wildlife, and capped off by epic scenery and beautiful coastlines. It'll include 3 countries, so South Africa, Botswana, and Zimbabwe. You're going to have wildlife safari experiences, both on land and water. You're going to take in Victoria Falls, which is one of the wonders of the world. The Cape Winelands, very, very majestic setting, nestled right, in the mountains, but you can also take in the coast as well. And you're going to have some really interesting cultural experiences with home-hosted meals. So it's going to be a very, very interesting tour and a very rewarding experience as well. Okay, so here's your tour at a glance. This is the 30,000-foot perspective, okay? Your overnight flight is day 1, okay? We have to account for your time away from home, and that first day is your overnight flight, okay? And again, you have the option of the pre-tour extension for 3 nights in Dubai. Again, more information is available online about that, okay? So you have your overnight flight, you arrive in Johannesburg, you'll spend 1 night there, and then the next day, you're gonna hop a flight to Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe, where you'll spend 2 nights, okay? And then you're gonna drive across the border to Botswana, and there you'll head to Kusane for 2 nights as you explore the Chobe National Park. And then days 7 through 9, you're gonna transfer back to Victoria Falls for a return flight to Johannesburg, for the drive to the Pilanesberg National Park for 3 nights. It's going to be a beautiful setting there. And then on days 10 and 11, you're going to head back to Joburg, as they say locally, for a ground transfer and a quick flight to Cape Town. And then you're going to drive to Somerset West, about 30 minutes away. And you'll have 3 nights in Cape Town. And it's actually a grand tour experience. So you can see here on the map, the black dots represent the number of nights that you'll spend in each of those destinations. And I'm just very confident you're going to have an amazing time. This is the most popular tour that Collette offers to Africa, the continent of Africa. So we know it's extremely popular and gets extremely high ratings from people that have experienced the tour. Okay, so again, Explorations brand tour, which is a small group, so 19 total passengers. Maximum 24, disregard that. The maximum number of passengers for this particular tour is 19, okay? And this is combined between the 2 universities. So I guess I need to say, if you want to go on this tour, please reserve earlier rather than later, because there's a finite number of total spots, 19, shared between SOU and BSU. So if it's interesting to you and you want to go, please reserve early. The activity level is a 3. So this is considered an on-the-go tour, right? So travelers that are comfortable walking for up to 2.5 hours over the course of a day at a reasonably moderate pace. Of course, there's going to be breaks there for sightseeing and that sort of thing, but you definitely want to be able to, climb some stairs, navigate your way on and off a motor coach and or a safari vehicle. And so I think that that's going to be, pretty important. Altitudes can be, up to several thousand feet for a small period of time. So again, if you want additional information, please look online. There'll be more details specific to this particular tour outlined in the activity level guidelines, okay? But you definitely want to wear comfortable shoes, be in pretty good shape, do some walking. And the great news is that we have a little bit over a year to prepare for the tour. So plenty of time to walk around the neighborhood, go to the local high school track and get yourself in tip-top shape. Okay, so some tips for visiting South Africa. Of course, we talk about the time zones here. Packing, again, we're going to have that pre-tour document review. We're going to talk all about packing, from colors to the types of packing that you want to do. As far as layering is always good. You're going to want to take sunglasses, sunscreen, some sort of a hat to shade you from the sun. We'll talk about the different forms of transportation, the modes of transportation rather, and then the language and the currency as well. Again, your tour manager is going to, lead the way, and they're going to be bilingual or multilingual in many cases, and you'll have the comfort knowing that they're with you the entire time. All right, so tour managers, knowledgeable experts, they're really going to bring their culture to life for you and answer all questions that you might have. They'll share stories about people and places and things and wildlife, of course. And they're just consummate professionals. They're going to bring to life the culture in each of the destinations that you're going to be visiting during the tour, okay? All right, so I'm going to play this video. Hopefully you have sound, but if not, sometimes the sound clicks off, but hopefully you'll hear the sound and get a quick overview here of the tour. I should have said an overview of some of the sights and sounds. Okay, so a day on safari. Of course, many of the game drives start in the morning. Early morning is the best time to see much of the wildlife. And of course, there'll be some downtime for lunch and then PM game drives as well, along with African sunsets, which are absolutely incredible, and dinner. Okay, so the first 2 hours of daylight are the best times to see wildlife. So a lot of the game drives are going to start very early in the morning. It's just something you need to be prepared for. So, 5:30 and 6:30 a.m. in that time zone is typically when the game drives are going to start in the morning. So it'll be important to sleep up and get a lot of rest before the tour begins, leading up to the tour date. And then you'll be so excited to go on the safaris that early morning won't be a problem anyway. And so it's going to be a little bit chilly sometimes in the early morning. So again, we'll talk about the layering up and how important it is to bring layers of clothes. And you'll gather, of course, in the lobby. The tour manager will provide you with the day's itinerary, so you'll know the day before exactly what to expect. And then you're just going to have some prime wildlife viewing experiences as part of the game drives. Okay, so here we go. We're going to start in Johannesburg. That's where your tour begins. And as mentioned, you're going to fly to Victoria Falls. And it's one of the 7 wonders of the world. And it's just a 2-hour flight from Johannesburg. So pretty quick to get there. And it's an absolutely stunning waterfall. And there's a video here on this next page. There we go.
When you look at Victoria Falls, it's on everybody's bucket list. It's one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. The amount of water that's flowing over, you can hear it roar in thunder. We call the Victoria Falls Mosia Tunya in our local language, which means the smoke that thunder. It's an experience that comes with the story of the great Dr. David Livingstone. The rainbows are just phenomenal because they cover the falls. It's an experience that travelers are mesmerized.
Looks very, very exciting. Okay, so here's another incredible experience. It's called the Wallow Lodge. It is an amazing space to stay at this resort. It's an eco resort. So the purpose is not only to provide the guests an incredible experience right up front with the wildlife and nature, but also it's a beautiful, sustainable travel experience in every way possible. It's eco-friendly, the lodge is, and it's solar heating. There's organic vegetables that are grown there, recycling of plants and plastic free. It's a plastic free environment. So just really, really lovely. And you can see here the accommodations, very, very comfortable. There are luxury suites offering a front row seat to wildlife. It's situated right on the banks of the Masui River, and each suite is raised beneath the shade of an ancient tree, and you get a private view from your own balcony. It's absolutely beautiful. Each suite has its own in-suite bathroom, a private sitting room, and a viewing deck. And then there's a private outdoor shower. It presents another sweet spot to observe the untouched wilderness as well. And then here you can see creature comforts at the Wallow Lodge. The common space offers a great place to meet with fellow guests and just take time to learn more about the lodge or enjoy a cocktail at the Wallow Bar. And again, the private deck space provides the opportunity to relax and enjoy nature and spy on wildlife. All right. And then how did Victoria Falls get its name? Anybody? The answer is Scottish missionary David Livingstone identified the falls in 1855, providing the British colonial name of Victoria Falls after Queen Victoria. All right. And then on day 4, you're going to have a responsible travel highlight. What better way to spend your day than an elephant sanctuary, African elephant sanctuary? There's a little bit of a videotape here I'm going to play for you.
It was remarkable. Just being that close where they live.
What a beautiful way of experiencing them and their personality.
It's magic. They're gentle giants. And to have that opportunity, I can't imagine any other place that you would get that.
Nice, huh? So obviously gentle giants, wonderful creatures. The sanctuary's mission is to promote and protect both the orphaned and injured elephants. And it's all about preservation of these endangered elephants. And so you're going to learn all about the biodiversity of releasing elephants back into the wild, and have just a great interactive opportunity to engage with the elephants. Okay, and then there's an impact moment at the Victoria Falls Wildlife Trust. So you're going to experience where the wild things are, so to speak, at the trust. It's a nonprofit that supports environmental conservation and sustainable use of natural resources across Southern Africa. And through rehabilitation and research and community outreach, they work to protect the ecosystems and wildlife. So you're going to get an insider's perspective on this conservation program, and have some interesting interaction with some of the species that are highlighted there as well. And then on day 4 continued, you're going to visit a local township where you're going to get a chance to experience the local scene. The townships are where the majority of the residents live, and you're also going to join a local family for a home-hosted lunch and learn more about their life in Zimbabwe. And then at dinner time, you're going to have dinner by the riverside in the banks of the Zambezi River. So you can see here, it's a lovely setting, and you're just gonna have a chance to really engage you're actually gonna have a chance to meet a local chief from the village, and they're gonna share with you information about living in Zimbabwe, but then you'll also have this lovely dinner towards evening time, okay? And then on day 5, you're going to experience Chobe National Park. Very few people experience the wildlife encounters at Chobe National Park. It's an amazing place. It's known for its large concentration of elephants, but the park is also teeming with wildlife of all shapes and sizes. So, of course, the big 5, which is the lion, the elephant, the hippo, the African buffalo, and the leopard. That's the hope on a daily basis, that you're going to take in all of the big 5. So absolutely magnificent time to see the wildlife. And again, you're going to have a park ranger that will be able to not only find the wild animals, but also point them out to you as well. All right, so here's an image of the Chobe Marina Lodge. It's a 4-star game lodge on the banks of the Chobe River. And the body of water is really much a part of the guest safari experience. So when you stay at the Chobe Lodge, Wilderness is at your doorstep, literally, and you're in for a very immersive experience. Here's some pictures right here of the Chobe Marina Lodge. You can see the beautifully appointed rooms, the pools. Each room has Wi-Fi and air conditioning, as well as a mosquito net, a ceiling fan, and again, nature's right at your doorstep. It's the perfect balance between comfort and opulence and nature right outside your doors. There'll be some breakfast treats, of course. Again, some of the meals are going to be very unique to the areas that you're visiting, which is nice. But always fill up on breakfast to start your day, which is great. And then, as you can see here, elephants are the primary residents in Chobe. And this is a scene of just a glimpse of what you can experience. Of course, when you're on the water, you can get up close and personal to the elephants and other wildlife that come down to the banks of the river. And then we have also, of course, pictures here of crocodiles and hippos. And of course, you'll be involved in a Chobe game drive. Okay, so itching to see the big predators. Of course, leopards, hyenas, wild dogs, lions, and cheetahs. You'll keep on the lookout for all of those creatures. And then, of course, the massive elephant populations are constantly on the move there as well in the Chobe National Park, along with big herds of buffalo and lion prides. So the best aspect of the safari is that your guide knows exactly where all the creatures are to be found, large and small, and being able to draw your attention to them. And then question, do you know what these are? You'll have to find out for yourself on tour. They are birds, but I'll wait for you to learn the secret when you're on tour. And then some great pictures here of lions and hyenas, bottom right, along with many species of birds in Africa. And then here's Choice on Tour. Remember, you have an inclusion, Choice on Tour. There's no cost for this. It's built into your investment. You'll have an opportunity to do some more wildlife exploration by land or by water. And if you go by land, you'll head out for another afternoon game drive in a 4x4 safari vehicle. And remember that every game drive is different because you're going to come across different wildlife on that game drive. Or you can choose to have a safari cruise. And this changes things up a little bit, give you a different perspective. I love this photo because it shows the hippos just right there in the foreground in front of the boat. And of course, you know, elephants also are seen crossing the rivers and down by the river's edge, and just all sorts of wildlife to soak up as part of the cruise experience. And then towards evening, you're going to tend a braai dinner, is what they call it. It's basically a barbecue that's grilled over coals, and but it's nothing like the barbecue you have at home. But again, wonderful meal, great setting, and incredible tasty food. And then on day 7, you're going to return to the transfer to Victoria Falls Airport for your flight to Johannesburg. And then you're going to transfer to Pilanesberg National Park. It's a game reserve set in an ancient crater, and it covers about 342 miles total. It's the 4th largest park in South Africa, and it's situated in a volcanic crater that erupted 1.2 billion years ago. And there's actually Stone Age remnants and sites around the reserve. Today, more than 10,000 animals and 360 bird species call Pilanesberg Park home. You'll stay at the Ivory Tree Game Lodge for 3 nights. Absolutely beautiful, again, well appointed, all of the nice amenities of a 4-star plus experience. And then you also have opportunities, if you'd like to some optional spa services, which are also very nice and relaxing. And then, of course, lions reign supreme in Pilanesberg Park. It's known for its large prides of lions. And so in the afternoon, you're going to venture out on a 4x4 safari vehicle to learn all about the Big 5, including the lions, and visit the vast marshlands and craggy landscapes in search for wildlife. And then as you work up a thirst during your game drive, you'll be happy to know that you're going to come back, and a representative is going to make you some tasty drinks right outside the African bush there. It's known as a sundowner. And so just another unforgettable experience as part of the day's events. And then day 8, back to Pilanesberg National Park. You'll have time for a cup of coffee and some breakfast treats before hopping onto a 4x4 Jeep and heading out for another adventure in the wild. And again, the park is just full of wildlife. So in this particular case, rhinos, and then on the next screen, you'll see here wild dogs also will be scattered about the park and the reserve rather. And it's just a real treat to see the wildlife. I do want to point out that in the safari vehicles, Collette ensures that everybody has quote unquote a window seat. So there won't be anybody, no passengers in the middle seats. Everybody will be on an outside seat, which is really nice. Some more great images here. The caracal and giraffes. And some waterfowl there at Pilanesberg National Park. The park is also home to storks, eagles, falcons, kingfishers, warblers, owls, egrets, cuckoos, sandpipers, kestrels, and many more. And then, of course, cheetahs that can reach speeds up to 75 miles per hour, the fastest mammal on the planet. And they've been known to increase their speed by 6 miles per hour with one single stride. So you're going to learn all about the cheetahs as well. And then on day 10, you're going to head to the winelands. You're going to board a flight to Cape Town. Flying time is about 2 hours. And then there's a 30-minute ground transfer to some of the most beautiful wine countries and destinations in the world, Somerset West. And you'll absolutely love it. Again, as promised in my earlier comments, the beautiful mountain range, the ocean, and you're going to immerse yourself in some wildlife and also focus on grapes. So it's one of the renowned winelands across the globe. And in the morning, you're going to visit Stellenbosch. It's South Africa's second oldest town, and it's most famous for its wine producing as a region. It's a historic town and a magnet for travelers who appreciate food, wine, art, and culture. And a winery visit is the first order of the day, where you'll get a sample of local favorites and discover some new vintages on your own, perhaps. And as mentioned, Stellenbosch's wine route is the oldest in the country, and they're known for producing top reds, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet blends, Merlots, Shirazes, etc. And you'll have a local expert guide that will teach you all those details for those of you who are not wine aficionados. And then from Stellenbosch, it's on to the renowned village of Franschhoek for lunch. It's about a 30-minute drive. Franschhoek translates to French Corner in Dutch, and it's also known as the Valley of Dreams. So it's cradled by mountains, hills, and vineyards. Franschhoek is one of the most breathtaking wine valleys on the planet. It's famous for its wine production and its 17th century Cape Dutch architecture. So you're going to enjoy a wonderful lunch there. And then afterward, you'll have free time to explore the town's leafy Main Street. And then you're going to take in some Cape Dutch architecture. It's very, very distinct. And you'll see it here in Cape Town too. It's a particular type or style of architecture indigenous to South Africa that was created by Dutch colonists. Basically, they took in their design fashion of ornate gables and high roofs and adapted it to the Cape climate. So it's the signature whitewashed walls and small paned shutter windows are designed to keep out the summer heat. And then alas, day 12, South Africa is often called a world in a country. And by the time you arrive back in Cape Town, you'll understand why. After experiencing the winelands and experiencing the wild, you'll spend time in the continent's most modern cosmopolitan cities, known as the Mother City because it was the site of the first European settlement in South Africa. Cape Town is considered or centered around Table Mountain in the background there. And it's revered for its beautiful beaches, coastal drives, stunning biodiversity, and a host of other experiences that you will take in yourselves. So your base will be Cape Town. You'll be in the heart of the city, a short distance from the Victorian and Alfred waterfront, or the V&A waterfront as it's locally known. It's a destination full of activity. It's a busy harbor front. There's all sorts of shopping, dining, markets, and other attractions, okay? And then a little fun fact about Table Mountain, it was inhabited during the Stone Age. So no visit to Cape Town would be complete without a visit to Table Mountain. It's got a beautiful panoramic view. It's one of the most iconic destinations in the entire world. It rises over 3,500 feet above sea level, and it was formed millions of years ago. And the history of this mountain dates back to about 30,000 years. It was home to some indigenous peoples, the Khoi and San people, who recognized it as a spiritual place. And then when the Dutch colonized the Cape, the land was taken from the locals. But during travel overseas, Portuguese navigator Vasco da Gama set eyes on it in 1497 during his voyage around the Cape of Good Hope. And what makes this flat top mesa an attraction, for starters, it's a natural wonder, of course, in the heart of Cape Town with breathtaking views. I've been told that you can actually somewhat see the curvature of the earth from the height of the mountain looking out over the ocean. But it's also a national park with a commitment to conservation and sustainability. There's an entire system happening on top there, 8,200 plant species and mammals like badgers, porcupines, snakes, lizards, eagles, etc. And locals work tirelessly to preserve and protect the mountain's ecosystem. And then, as mentioned earlier, Sir Edmund Hillary, probably no more spectacular place in the world than Cape Town and Table Mountain at the tip of Africa. The official opening of the cableway took place just under 100 years ago, 1929. The original plan called for a railway, but because of two wars during the time, that engineering was scrapped for costs and other reasons, and they put the cable in. It took in 1958 8 minutes to travel from the lower station of Cable Mountain to the top station, and it used to handle 23 passengers at a time. The cable car has been upgraded now, and it zips along in just a few minutes from the lower level to the top. So it's really, really quick. And on a clear day, you can see Robben Island, where Nelson Mandela was imprisoned for 18 years. Again, just an absolutely beautiful vantage point. So when you have time at Table Mountain is complete, you'll head back to the city on the road through Table Bay. And along the way, you're going to see Cape Town's most colorful district, which sits at the foot of Signal Hill, the Malay Quarter. It's also known as Bokop. It's made up of brightly colored houses set along cobblestone streets. It's one of the oldest parts of the city and originated during the 18th century when slavery was abolished and the Malay residents turned their homes into a statement of freedom. And then you're going to go along the coastal drive along the Cape Peninsula. It's breathtaking all along the way that leads all the way to Cape Point, located on the southernmost point of the continent. And here's a great photo right here. From the very far image here, the edge of the image on the right-hand side, you can see the lighthouse. It was built in 1859, the same year that Oregon became a state, interestingly enough. And it served as the actual point as a navigational benchmark or landmark. And because it was easy for sailors to see in fog or at night. And of course, the point of passing was extremely treacherous. So that lighthouse served to protect all ships. All righty. And then you're going to go down for an easy hike down the mountain and enjoy a perfect spot to capture a photo at the point with your fellow travelers. And then you're going to continue on to Boulders Beach. It's a very unique experience. You're going to meet some of the most well-known and most treasured and well-dressed, but adorable African penguins of Simonstown, pictured here. And there's supporting organizations and institutions whose efforts have focused on conservation of these wonderful creatures. And you're going to have a chance to see them up close. The endangered penguins are only found on the continent. And while they can also be seen in Namibia, you won't get as close to viewing them there as you would at Boulders Beach. And then you're going to have a Cape Townian home-hosted dinner, and you'll be the honored guests in a family's home. And it's really a unique opportunity to learn more about what life is like in Cape Town from a local's perspective. And then on day 14, you have a free day to explore on your own. It'll be your last full day in South Africa. If you want, you can go to the Kirstenbosch National Botanical Garden, which is lovely. There's the Old Biscuit Mill, another Cape Town's great foodie offerings. And then there's, of course, Robben Island, a place of great historical significance. So all sorts of options for you on your last day and your free day to spend time in Cape Town. And then you'll have a farewell dinner at one of the local restaurants. And your tour manager, of course, will be with you. And then you'll have the evening at leisure to enjoy on your own. And here's what travelers are saying about their experience right here. Give you a chance to read this. Okay. And then I love this picture, the baby leopard. All right, so here's the investment slide right here, okay? Per person double occupancy. That means if there are two people in one room, each traveler would invest the $10,149. If you're a solo traveler, your investment will be $11,149. The reason for that is single occupancy rooms are few and far between, and there's a premium for single occupancy rooms given the space. The prices that you see here are inclusive of round trip airfare and the internal flights, okay? Those are all built in. And so they include the park fees, air taxes and fees, the inner flights, the round trip international air flights, that's all built into those prices, okay? And that's from Medford Jackson City to Johannesburg and back, okay? And the 700 now, book now and save special is built into those pricing modules that you see right there. The deposit due date is coming up relatively soon, November 16th of 2025, okay? Seat reduction date is simply a term that we use in the industry that reflects that any unspoken for spaces on this tour that are not reserved by November 16th will go back into general inventory for people who are not affiliated with either of the OLLI programs, either at Southern Oregon University and or Boise State University. So if we want it to be an exclusive group solely for OLLI members of both universities, we can fill up our own tour of all 19 people comprised of OLLI members or friends of OLLI members, okay? So to reserve your space on this trip, you would make your $698 deposit. You can do that by check or credit card, okay? And I'll show you how to do that here momentarily. The cancel for any reason travel protection insurance, okay, that we discussed earlier is $699. I strongly encourage your consideration of the insurance for a bunch of different reasons. First and foremost, I'll give you an example. Let's say that I was going on this trip as a solo traveler and my overall investment was $11,149. The incremental cost to me of $699 is worth its weight in gold, because if I were to twist my ankle on, let's say, August 20th, 2 days before departure, and I wasn't able to walk or I was on crutches, I could call up Collette, cancel my trip. I would not even need a doctor's note. It's just, I don't even need to give them a reason. I could cancel the trip. I would get all $11,149 back, no questions asked. It would either credit my credit card or pay me by check, whichever form I paid Collette in the first place. And then I would get my full refund. I would not get the $699 of the cost of the insurance reimbursed because that's the cost of the premium, okay? But you can see the power of that insurance coverage. And that's just if you need to cancel for any reason. But as we talked about earlier, you're covered on tour itself. So evacuation, trip interruption, lost luggage, reimbursement for illness, injury, etc. So please take into consideration the investment. It's really worth it, and it just insulates you and protects you quite nicely. Okay, and then both your deposit and if you opt for the insurance, the $699, both of those dollar amounts, I would encourage you to invest both of them at the same time. Okay, they are fully refundable through November 23rd. Okay, I know that's not a great deal of time, but let's just say that I'll use myself example again. If I decided to register for this trip tomorrow, I put my money down, it's October, 2nd tomorrow. If I found out that I had some enormous expenditure personally that I had to absorb, say re-roofing a house early November, I could cancel my reservation. I would receive my $698 back in full, as well as my $699 insurance back in full. So 100% of my deposit monies are fully refundable through November 23rd, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, okay? Thereafter, if I have the cancel for any reason travel protection insurance, then I could receive, a full reimbursement minus the cost of my premium for any amount that I would have paid up until that point in time, okay? Final payment isn't due until 90 days before departure of 2026. So you can pay it off in installments through a payment portal, or you can lump sum payment on or before May 24th of next year, okay? That's how that works. And then there's some quick slides here. And again, a lot of detail is on the online website specific to the pre-tour extension to Dubai if you're interested. Okay, it's 5 days, 3 nights. Again, it's a great way to break up the lengthy flight if you're inclined to do so. And again, here's some interesting photos. You take a 4x4 vehicle excursion. It's a light dune drive through the desert, kind of a private experience. There's also, of course, the Al Fahidi neighborhood, the cultural center of Sheikh Mohammed, some really fascinating cultural experiences that you can take part in while you're in Dubai. Again, the day-by-day itinerary is outlined in the custom webpage. And then, of course, the world's highest building, the Khalifa Observation Deck, if you're not afraid of heights. All right, so by now you probably have seen either digital flyers or printed flyers that outline this tour. You also have access to a custom web page that's been created for this tour. You can access it through the OLLI website at Southern Oregon University. And if you click on the link, it will take you to a custom web page that has all the information that was represented today, plus a lot more. If you have any questions, please reach out directly to the travel team and representatives from the OLLI program at that 541-552-6048 phone number. That number is also on your paperwork or digital files, as well as, of course, on the website, okay? A couple of quick reminders. Please make sure that you have a valid passport that's valid for 6 months beyond the last date that you'll be on the tour. That's extremely important. There's also some detail about different visas that countries require for you to travel in South Africa. So please make sure you read those details. It's online. You have plenty of time to secure those visas. And we always, this question comes up all the time in terms of vaccinations. We always invite people to go to the CDC website, print off the information specific to the countries that you'd be visiting on this trip, and then talk with your own personal healthcare provider and get their guidance as to what vaccinations, if any, you might need, okay? So that's not something that Collette covers, but we encourage you to, again, get that information from the CDC on the website, take it to your personal physician, and make sure you get the appropriate guidance, okay? And we'll keep on going here. As a thank you for traveling with Collette, you receive basically free cash or free credit, I should say, moving forward. It's a great way to earn free money that would apply to your next trip through OLLI at SOU. So keep that in mind. You receive credit for traveling with us. It's our way of saying thank you for traveling with Collette. And there you are. Thank you so much for your time. I know there'll probably be some questions that arise. Feel free to reach out to the travel team at OLLI through that phone number or email address. If they don't have the immediate answers for you, they can reach out to myself or one of my team members to get that information for you. One other thing that I did want to cover, this question comes up quite a bit. What airline are we going to be using or utilizing? We always use the majors, whether it's, Delta, United, Lufthansa, it might be Emirates Airline. A lot of it depends on the route that we take. And typically the airline information is known to us about 6 to 7 months prior to the trip's departure, okay? So hopefully that assuages some of your concerns. No discount airlines, it'll all be major airlines, and the final airline will be determined in the coming months. All right, thanks again for your time. Appreciate your interest in this program. We're super excited. I know that there's already a handful of people that are registered out of SOU as well as BSU, and cheers to filling up the entire group and the entire bus, so to speak, or tour with all 19 passengers from Boise and Southern Oregon. All right, cheers. Thanks, everybody. Bye now.